Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I release a Legacy video every Friday. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by joining the Patreon. Here you can gain access to a continuously updated sideboard guide and primer on Legacy Doomsday, as well as being able to send private messages. You can join the Patreon by clicking the link in the video description or going to patreon.com/nebuleshootmtg. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hello everyone, Martin here, back with another Legacy video, and today is an exciting day. It is, as the time of recording, November the 10th, 2025, and we have just had a banned and restricted update where Entomb and Nadu Winged Wisdom were banned in Legacy. No unbans, so that is the change. I am recording this a couple of hours after the fact. It is not impossible, as has happened earlier to me in my recording career, that I queue into someone who is still in the league with banned cards and are finishing their league. So I just hope that isn't the case. That's just a small caveat. Um, okay, this is early days. This is the brand new format. It's really hard to guess exactly what's going to happen. I think in really new formats, playing a deck like Doomsday, I want to go fast. I think it's probably likely that people will, at least for the first couple of days or weeks, will be playing like more pet decks, more retired decks, and with that sort of nonsense floating around, I think it is better to be fast. So I am going fast here. I have opted out of the main deck Cling to Dust, since we're no longer playing against Dimir Reanimator, and have replaced it with the card it itself replaced, which was the fourth Ponder. Also, wanting to be fast, I decided to forego the second copy of Undercity Sewers for now and replace it with the fourth copy of Underground Sea. I might go back on that. I don't know. I did kind of like the two Surveillance, but it is better if you're expecting or planning on having longer games. For the time being, I have decided to cut Emrakul and Sheldargyle from the sideboard, and this is mostly because I felt like I faced so little Jeskai control, Bant Beanstalk, and the only deck where I wanted Emrakul and Sheldargyle that was being played a lot was actually against Nadu, and now there is no more Nadu, so I could very easily see these decks or these cards come back. Uh, Probably as soon as I lose my first match to Jeskai Control. But yeah, for the time being, I think it's justifiable to cut them. Painter has not been a deck in a long while. We'll see if that changes. Um, I decided to add a copy of Drown in the Lock because my pivot plan versus the tempo decks. In that, I have long sort of kind of wanted a fifth removal spell. If we count the two Brazen Borrowers and two Long Goodbyes as removal, I have sort of been in the market for a fifth removal spell, and having this that can also do some work for, like as a combo killer or a counter spell is interesting to me. And I've always had a soft spot for Drown the Lock. I think it's a pretty underappreciated card. I also added a copy of Consign to Memory. I'm not really sure about this one, to be honest. Like, I'm thinking there is going to be a lot of Mystic Forge, which is, I guess, not really the namesake, the namesake card anymore. It's like the One Ring. So a lot of Karn ring decks floating around, and I think that alone makes it fine enough to have access to this card. I did find previously that like boarding in multiple copies of Consign to Memory and trying to like quote unquote like play control versus those decks, it's not worth it. They will overwhelm your disruption, and it's better to just try and be fast. But I do like especially if this blue Tron deck starts seeing play, I do like having access to this as a way to counter their Tishana's Tidebinder trigger because um, well, they have to let Jace and or Thassa's Oracle resolve in order for their Tidebinder to do something. And then that's trigger, and then we can consign it. It probably puts too much stress on our mana, so I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it, but that is at least also a use case for this card. Another might be, countering an endurance trigger, but I think we already have answers to Endurance with the main deck Jace and with the Nihil Spellbomb and stuff, but yeah, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it. Maybe like a couple words on what I'm expecting. I'm expecting there to be more oops, at least in the short term. I think not only is this a very like proven good deck that has just, I think, been frozen out by the fact that so many players were playing main deck Grave Hate to combat Dimir Reanimator, but it's also like a really cheap deck, especially in paper. It's I don't think it has any reserve list cards at all. So I think that is probably like I know some friends of mine that are going to Eternal Weekend Europe in a couple of weeks, and they're like, kind of scrambling to find out what they're going to play because they were planning on playing like Nadu or Dimir Reanimator. And I think it's reasonable to expect that at least some number of them might look at Oops as a deck that's easy or at least cheap to assemble and that you probably could do pretty well with. So more Oops. Like we said, the Ring Karn decks have not had anything removed from them. It will be interesting to see if they rise to like the apex spot in the format, or if they get taken down a notch now. I expect there to be a lot of both blue red cutter and blue black tempo, and it's anyone's guess which one of those decks are gonna like rise to the top, if either of them will, or at least become the premier tempo deck. Probably there, it'll. I think Dimir tempo has not lost anything, and neither has Cutter. So yeah, interesting times ahead. And yeah, let's see how this league plays out. All right, we're on the draw for round number one, and I'll keep this hand. It's it has some promise. It's not happy to play against Chalice for one, but other than that, it's probably okay. And we draw Flusterstorm, which actually makes me want to. Well, I don't know. There are no more like Entombs to worry about, unless, like I said in the deck tech, this is an opponent that's playing that's finishing up their league with Entomb. Well, we'll see. I'm gonna pass the turn with Fluster up. Okay, no Entomb. Thundering Falls, Scry or Surveil to the top. Thundering Falls makes me feel like it's like blue red cutter. And I think I probably daze this while the dazing's good. Like going back a land kind of sucks, but also like having your Demure opponent not make like not have not like having them not have resolved anything in the first couple of turns is pretty big. I'm gonna brainstorm here with the mana available. Okay. I think I get rid of. I'll be drawing at least one of these cards. I'll get rid of Scalding Tarn and then I'll draw Basic Island. Lands is always nice here, but I was gonna put away Street Wraith, but having Street Wraith on the combo turn is pretty nice. And I think maybe I just play out my pedal here and I'll cast Ponder. I'll shuffle these. We draw the basic swamp. Okay, I'll pass. Yeah, this is turn 3 versus blue red tempo, and I'm at 20 life. That's in and of itself pretty amazing. I could daze here. This will still resolve, but then they would have to have a bobble to trigger this. Oh, I don't know. The problem is I am nowhere even close to assembling Doomsday, and I do worry that they'll just be able to like ramp shit out here. But yeah, I am actually going to force pitch Daze. I would kind of like to pitch the Flusterstorm because then I could Daze their next play. They probably have like a 1 mana creature here, but I would also like to have Flusterstorm as my way of resolving a Doomsday next, like not next turn, but the turn after. Okay, they would have been able to trigger that. Okay, they target themselves, and they like what they saw. Ooh, and I like what I see. All right, I am going to pass here. The problem is if they have both a force and a daze, then they get us here, or 2 dazes, I guess. We kind of need them to not just go land go here, but to actually like at least not play another land or maybe even like tab out for a creature. I think I'm gonna surveil here if they don't drop a wasteland, I think my best surveil here is Dark Ritual. Let's see, Brainstorm. Guess I'll take that. All right, let's hope they don't have. Oops, they don't have double interaction here. Okay, they are fetching. What does this mean? It means Brainstorm. Okay. They're also one card type, and they just got it away from being Delirious here. We have to watch out. And wow, it just resolved. Okay, let's get Cavern of Souls, Thassa's Oracle, 2 cyclers here. Let's see. I wonder how much I can afford to spend life here. So one thing that could be going on right now is that they could, one thing that could happen here is that they have lightning bolts, and that they just need 2 lightning bolts, and then that's lethal. So if they have 2 lightning bolts, I can fluster. But if I cycle 2 street wraiths, then they just need 1 lightning bolt to resolve. Gosh, they might also be able to wasteland us here. So what happens if I draw a lotus petal? I guess I should make that a land. Yeah, okay, so I draw Underground Sea for turn. If they wasteland me, then I still have Underground Sea, Island, and oh no, it can't be Underground Sea. It has to be petal. I forgot. I'm playing my cavern next turn. So we draw and play petal. If they wasteland us, then we have 3 mana. We then cast Brainstorm. If they daze, then we pay with Swamp. But if they force, then we're kind of cooked. But if they have both force and wasteland, and they didn't force us right now, then I don't know what's up. Yeah, I think I'm going to try this. It does worry me a little bit that this plan involves me having to resolve a Brainstorm. But let's wait and see. I could also put Edge of Autumn on top in case like they wasteland me, then I cycle Street Wraith into Edge. Then I don't need to resolve the Brainstorm, I guess. If I cycle Street Wraith. I mean, I think it's pretty free to do this. Alright, pass the turn. Okay, so they had a cutter. I can't do anything about that. Okay, there was just some warning that Magic Online will go into an emergency shutdown, which might affect this league. I think I have an hour to finish this. Okay, I'll try and be fast. But yeah, let's see. If they have Lightning Bolt here, that's pretty nice for them. They have Ponder. Okay. So Ponder triggers this. So let's see. This is a 2/2, and now if they can chain more spells, this can become a 3/3 and a 4/4. But I think that's okay. I don't think I'm supposed to point Flusterstorm at Ponder. I mean, it's a problem if they haven't made their land drop yet. Yeah, I don't know. And they surveilled away a Brainstorm. So, yeah, we'll see. They don't shuffle. They had another land and another Brainstorm. Okay, so now they've made their land drop. The Monk goes to 3/3, and DRC surveils. Is this where I Brainstorm? Or I Flusterstorm? So they would have, if they find 2 more baubles between the 2 cards in their hand and the next 3 cards, then this can become a 5/5. That still doesn't kill me. I think this is just fine. They would need to hit 3 or like 2 baubles plus a daze their own bauble or something. There is 1 bauble. Holy moly. They blow away Wasteland and a second bauble. Get out of here. Is your 3rd card also a bauble? It looks like they're playing the whole 8 baubles, so I guess it could be. Okay. They're bobbling me and they see Street Wraith, which I can't cast. Alright, I go to 1, I take my turn. I'm gonna Brainstorm on my upkeep to stop, to get in underneath these bauble draws. And I guess this will have to be fine. Fuck, I miscalculated, didn't I? Yeah. This, I lost track of things here. I am not, I think I put, unless I put Cavern on the bottom, I forget. So this draws me the Street Wraith, and then, well, let's see. Did I put Thassa second from the bottom? Like a good boy? I did, but if they have Force of Will, they get me here. Alright, lucky for me they didn't, so... Whew. Alright, well, And now we pivot. Um, Long goodbye, shouldered Barrogoyfs, brazen borrowers. Boarding in Nihil Spellbomb is not completely unreasonable. Let's get rid of some personal tutors here. I think we can get rid of Lines Out Diamond and Jace, and then the cyclers, some number of cyclers, and then it's a question of, like, do we go down the Consider or the 4th Doomsday, I think. No LED, I think, means we can get rid of the Consider. It does take us to 18, no, 18 of the original blue cards, but then 3 more here. Alright, this is a keepable hand. A cantrip, a dark ritual, interaction, some lands. And I've spoken about this in previous videos, but I do like how well Barrowgoyf plays against this deck, and I do think, like, on occasion this becomes a little bit of a, like, protect the queen kind of situation with Barrowgoyf. Let's cast Ponder here. Oh, would you look at that? Alright, this is pretty sweet. Alright, I'm gonna draw the Sheoldred, and if you protect the queen Barrowgoyf style, protecting the queen with Sheoldred is even better. So we can even, like, the key thing here will be to have the first Dark Ritual resolve, and then with Edge of Autumn we can even cycle into the second Force of Will and have Force plus Daze plus Thoughtseize. And meanwhile our opponent goes top bottom with their Surveil, or Scry rather. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, that resolved. I'm gonna Thoughtseize first. Force, blah blah blah. Okay, so we will need everything here. Or I guess not actually. We just take the Pyroblast, and then they can only force once. So yeah, let's do that. Take the Pyroblast, second Dark Ritual, Sheoldred, and let them Surveil here. They pitched Force of Negation. And I will just force back, like, having, I did briefly consider cycling the Edge to get to, like, force pitch force and have Daze, but they're gonna play their third land soon, and I don't think the Daze is gonna do a lot. They Surveil away land. Sheoldred is in their hand is Force of Will Island. Petty Theft here is probably among the best things they can draw. If they can get Delirium, they can get to what's it called? Like Unholy Heat. They would have to have double bolt for this to work, like block and bolt, or they could bolt, or yeah, bolt first, and then see if they spike a creature, and then if they do, they can block and trade. Then I have the Hail Mary of cycling into a blue card. I think I will attack here. I won't respect them having top deck the bolt. Yeah, I went in. This is, like, every combat step that Sheoldred connects here is so huge because of the life gain here. Oh yeah, Brainstorm. Take that 6 damage, you sweet, sweet person. I think they probably know right now whether or not they've lost. And so far they have not conceded, so maybe they found something. Surely they can't attack here. Okay. That was pretty sweet. So I think I'm just gonna pass though. Like, if I attack and they found Unholy Heat and they block, then Unholy Heat has Delirium because of the creature. And passing, like, it's a question of one turn here, but they have to remove the Sheoldred here. Like presenting more creatures is not enough. Yeah, okay. And they concede. Sweet, off to a winning start. All right. On the play for round number 2. It is today, it's tomorrow, because after my first round, Magic Online went down for emergency patching, and it got too late for me to to sort of do the rest of the league. So now it is the next day. So I've had a whole another day to think about things. But we're 1-0 going to round number 2, and we're on the play. So, and yeah, I mean, this is a pretty tasty turn 2 Doomsday with Force of Will backup. We could also just float a Pluto Delta and have double force here, but I don't think I want to do that. So I had a little bit of time to think, and I'm just going to bring up my sideboard here while I put the opponent in mulligans. I think I'm actually ready to put the Grafdigger's Cage somewhere else. I'll replace it with another card and only have the Nihil Spellbomb as graveyard interaction, because I think basically the only graveyard decks that are going to be around for a while that I would want to actually be boarding in graveyard stuff would be Oops All Spells and possibly possibly Dredge if that happens. I think like versus Oops, we're sort of okay. Like we're a Demure combo control deck versus them. Like we have up to 6 forces, we have a Consign, we have 2 Flusterstorms, 2 Thoughtseize, and our like a combo that's pretty proactive of our own. So I think it's okay, honestly. So I just want the Nihil Spellbomb, one piece that also lets you beat Endurance out of the Savannah decks. That would be the only thing I would, at the current time, would want to be changing. But all right, opponent found 6 they liked. I'm gonna go Underground Sea, show them exactly what's up, and play my Personal Tutor, which just instantly resolved. It seemed like they were 6th here. I'm not gonna play out the Petal. I don't want them to know that it's go time next turn. So like Charles for 0 would be a problem here. Okay, they're a Lotus Petal gamer themselves. Oh, is this Mystic Forge? That could mean a Disruptor Flute coming right now when I pass priority. Let's see. Nope. Okay. So this could be the blue Forge deck, but I'm not really seeing a lot of interaction here. So the basic swamp is a little bit awkward here. We could just try and win with force, like giving up on Force of Will. So I think I am just going to do that. I'm just going to make like a brainstorm pile. And that can win eventually if the opponent is like doing something unexpected, like wastelanding us or something. There's consider. So we have to probably assume they don't like either they aren't playing Chalice of the Void or they didn't have it, or I think they would have made that their turn 1 play. Especially seeing me go for Personal Tutor Doomsday. So basically, the most scary thing that could happen here is that they just pass the turn, I think. Like, once we give them the turn with mana up, because that represents, like, Kozilek's Command, represents Disruptor Flute, represents Tishana's Tidebinder, but I think this is probably still fine. Like, the alternatively, we pass twice here, and then we just go for a Cycler into Cavern and Thassa. Maybe that's worth doing. Like I am gonna go with my first sort of intuition here, because I do think they're gonna make a play next turn, like a 3 or 4 mana play. We can either let that resolve if we feel like that's okay, and if not, then we can Force of Will it. So yeah, let's pass. There's 5 mana now. Please play something. Yeah, okay, here we go. If this is the ring, okay, it's not. I was gonna say if it's the ring, we can let it resolve, but it's not. It's Karn. So let's force it and hope they aren't a Force of Will deck. Okay, I think we're safe to go off here. Okay, we cast Brainstorm, put back Force of Will with Consider on top, and they don't have mana to cast Kozilek's Command. They're not showing it anyways. That would require something else. And do we get to do the thing? It looks like we do. All right, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and guess this is not the blue post deck, and not sure that really how much that really impacts things here. But so I want the Force of Negations. I want the Consigned Memory, I guess. Do we want anything else? I typically feel like bringing in stuff that bounces things versus these decks is a losing proposition, because like the stuff they resolve at 4 mana impacts the board or impacts the game so much that bouncing it is not doing a lot. They don't really fill up their graveyard very easily. So, and right now I have these 3 cards, and I don't know if there's a lot I want to board out. I think on the draw, Daze is probably not that interesting. Be okay boarding, well, it's either 2 or 3. I think maybe I just board out the 3 Daze. Make it a pretty clean 3 for 3, like, counterspell swap here. Maybe, I mean, maybe I'm underselling Daze. It's not like Daze does nothing here. I could board in the Shouldred, like, Shouldred, if they resolve the One Ring, is pretty tasty. I think maybe I board in like 1 Shouldred and cut a Personal Tutor. Is it Personal Tutor? Oh gosh, I don't know. Yeah, I think it probably is. Like I kind of see those cards as not like obviously not interchangeable, but filling in the same slot of like business. All right. Well, we have a turn 2 Doomsday and we have Force of Will. I mean, I'm never not gonna keep this hand. Seems like they also like their 7, so let's go. Okay, they open up on a Saga. Okay, I like the Thoughtseize here. That beats Surveilling, so I'm just gonna go ahead and Thoughtseize. Okay, so this is actually pretty interesting. They were definitely banking on this Grim Monolith. So if I think I'm gonna take Grim Monolith here. If they draw, no, I was gonna say like if they draw Ancient Tomb, they can then resolve the Teferi or Tezzeret here. But Tezzeret doesn't really have anything to untap with. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab this Grim Monolith here. Guess I could have also taken one of their business spells and then forced the Grim Monolith, but I think this was better. That means no Saga, no construct here. Okay, well, let's do the Doomsday thing. Okay, so they can get a Pithing Needle here, which shuts off my Edge of Autumn, which is like somewhat awkward. I think I want Jace in this pile. And I want the island to fetch with Flooded Strand. So let's say we draw a Lotus Petal, and then we cycle Edge of Autumn into Jace, and then we just win. I'll put a Street Wraith in there. I don't know. I could also leave out the Thassa and then add a second Street Wraith to sort of incentivize them naming Street Wraith with the petal, or with the Pithing Needle. So we don't really need the Thassa. The downside of that is showing them the Thassa's in exile, and they might just needle Jace or Disruptor Flute. Yeah, I think I'll do this. All right, let's put Island on the bottom, and then I guess Street Wraith, Thassa, Jace, and then Petal. All right, pass turn. Yeah, here I really wish this Edge of Autumn was a Street Wraith so that I could sort of proactively cycle it, but I don't even know that they have Pithing Needle. Okay, they didn't. Well, what do they go for? It has to be Karn, right? Yeah, I am gonna force negate that old bad boy. So they have 1 unknown, but they're passing priority sweet. This should mean that we get to win here. Mindbreak Trap is not on. All right, play the Flooded Strand, get our basic island. There's Jace, target ourselves, and win the game. All right, sweet. 2-0, off to round number 3. All right, on the play for round number 3. And yeah, I'll keep this. It's kind of annoying that Undercity Sewers is in our opening hand, but it is what it is. I guess I will cycle the Street Wraith here, just in case we hit a Doomsday. Oops, I did it in my upkeep. That's funny. Okay, I hit a Ponder. That's actually not bad at all. I'm gonna Ponder then. Rather than play the sewers. This also means like next turn we can brainstorm and like put the sewers back in the deck if we should feel so inclined. I think we're going to shuffle this Jace Petal Polluted Delta. Alright, we get Edge of Autumn. That's okay. Elvish Spirit Guide, Elvish Reclaimer. Wow. I mean, I'm going to let this resolve. I don't know if there's going to be much that I'm going to be able to force will, but I think I didn't want to lose my brainstorm, honestly. All right, we draw Thassa's Oracle. Ooh, and we are rewarded. So we can just go ahead and win right now if we feel like we don't have to worry about endurance. Let's put away Undercity Sewers and Thassa's Oracle. And let's see if they have F6 here. Sometimes, you know, kind of works out like that. Does look like we're just being allowed to do whatever we want. So I think, like, I mean, the Eye of Ugin deck, how many main deck green cards can they support to support endurance? Yeah, I am just going to go for the win. Alright, so we make the classic, a variant on the classic breadwinner pile here. We have Thassa on the bottom with a Cycler on top, and then the next three cards just have to end with Brainstorm as the top card. Cycle this Edge of Autumn, cast Petal, and cast Brainstorm. Hope they haven't been like masterfully bluffing this, or rather, I'm not sure bluffing's the right word, but you know what I mean? Like they aren't like, they haven't been sitting on endurance this whole time. Or like double Spirit Guide Disruptor Flute. Thassa's in, and we win. Alright, cool. So what can we glean from this? It could be like a green Cloud Post deck that just had a really bad opening hand. I suppose on the face of it, this could be like Eldrazi that has a bit more of a lands package and are playing like Elvish Reclaimer. Yeah, let's see here. I guess Consign to Memory seems like a card we probably want. Maybe one Force of Negation. I don't know if there are only going to be like, if they even will have some non-creature spells we care about. They probably do. Maybe a Drown in the Lock. I don't know, though. They also, like, I guess being an Elvish Reclaimer deck, they probably fill out their graveyard. I'll board out at least one Thoughtseize here. Probably both Thoughtseizes, actually. I think I want the Nihil Spellbomb. They have shown us green, like Spirit Guides and Reclaimers, so they probably have Endurances somewhere in the 75. Maybe I'll cut like one Cycler here and one Daze on the draw. Yeah, let's try this. I don't know about the Drown in the Lock. That's definitely the loosest card here. Oof. I will keep this. It is very greedy. Like if there's a land in the top two cards of my library, I'll be just extremely happy. Elvish Reclaimer, huh? I think maybe I do force this now. Maybe this is super aggro, but my plan is gonna take a little bit of time to come together. Okay, that was very good. All right, I will play out the Petal as well, and then cast Personal Tutor. And I just hope there isn't like a discard spell or a Disruptor Flute in my immediate future. Oh, hang on. No! Oh, I should have. Well, I'm sitting on the Street Wraith. How ridiculous. Like, I could have just gone for it there. Oh, well. If this is a flute, I very much deserve it. Chalice for one. Oh, Green Suns for one. Okay. So this probably gets another Reclaimer, I would be my guess. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I think we're just supposed to go for it here, right? And then, the basic swamp is kind of sad because it doesn't cast Thassa. But, like, if they're a wasteland deck, then getting Underground Sea is maybe a little bit risky. Though, maybe I will just get Underground Sea, and I'll get a fetch land, which I can play right now. And then I can play the Nihil Spellbomb. And then what? Then if they wasteland me next turn, I just lose, but, gosh, I don't know. Let's see here. So I get fetch land. I cycle Street Wraith into fetch land, fetch Underground Sea. Or I could also Street Wraith into Street Wraith into fetch land. Huh. Can this, like, oh, I kind of just want to fly in the face of Wasteland here. Like they would need Wasteland in their hand. They can't like if they search it out, but I don't give them the other turn, then it doesn't matter at all, right? Okay. What if we go so we go cycle Street Wraith into Street Wraith, cycle that Street Wraith into fetch land, fetch the Underground Sea, play Nihil Spellbomb, and then our next card is either the Edge of Autumn or the Thassa. In either case, we can probably try and resolve it. And then we lose to like them having Disruptor Flute, but I think if they had Disruptor Flute, they wouldn't have Green Sun's last turn. So yeah, let's try this. Quite a few ways this can go wrong, but I am also taking like a lot of damage here. I'm taking 5. I guess I don't have to I guess I don't have to crack the fetch right now, so I can just draw the next card down. Which oh shit, I don't think I was thinking. I don't know if it's Thassa. I forgot. It's a lot of mana. I am worried now. They are able to flash something in here like a Disruptor Flute. Okay. Kozilek's Command also gets me here. Like, if I had drawn the Thassa instead, then that wouldn't be true. Or I guess it would be. They could just kill the Thassa, and I can't draw if I would need another mana. Okay, well, let's see here. It smells like they might have something here. Let's hope it's Endurance, but it probably isn't. Kozilek's Command has me covered here. Don't think anything else. Okay, yeah, it looks like Kozilek's Command. Mana is being tapped. Colorless mana. So they just make me draw a card here. Yep. All right. Let's make sure they click this right. Okay, yeah, they did. Because both of these modes is target player. They could have made me create X things here. All right. Cool. I think I don't mind having my Thoughtseize back. I don't want the Drown in the Lock here now on second thought. I don't think. Oh, maybe the Force of Negation is still pretty neat. Maybe the Spell Bomb. Yeah, I'm really unsure if they have Endurance. Maybe I just don't worry about it because I have the Jace anyways. That is a way to at least somewhat challenge the thing here. I think the Endurance. I think I want the 3rd days. So what do I cut in lieu of that? No, maybe having just 2 days is fine. I think there's not really a card I want to cut for the 3rd days. Oh, this is not good. I'm gonna mulligan. Yeah, I guess I'll keep this. And I am gonna cycle Street Wraith just in case I hit, like, I'm gonna put away Personal Tutor. Yeah, just in case I hit like a fetch land or a ponder, I guess. Yeah, Flusterstorm maybe would have been a better cut than the 3rd days. Like I think it is probably only really Kozilek's Command that Flusterstorm gets here. Echoing Deeps. At least no turn 1 Reclaimer. Okay, that was not bad. Now we need a black mana. But we do really need the black mana. 2 mana. Like if they have Disruptor Flute here, then it's a pretty big deal. Okay, I'm gonna Surveil. I'm gonna like leave Underground or Force of Will on top here, so I am able to cycle for Force of Will, which looks like it's Crop Rotation. Flusterstorm, baby. That was a nice use of a Flusterstorm. But yeah, I have the ability. Oh, hang on. They sick. If they have a Spirit Guide, well, I mean, if you do it, you do it. It's still a favorable exchange for me. But that was nice for the opponent. They get a Cloud Post. That makes sense. Okay, so now they have 3 mana. I'm gonna have to cycle this Edge of Autumn if they flash in this Disruptor Flute on my upkeep. Okay, but they didn't. All right, here comes Doomsday. Warping Whale. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm gonna Force of Will, pitch Personal Tutor. And you know what? That means I think I have to go for it here. Echoing Deeps just makes 1 mana. So they can't disrupt. I guess they could Disruptor Flute me if they have another Spirit Guide plus a Flute, but then again, I think they would have cast that. But who knows? But I don't think waiting a turn is gonna do anything good for me here. We will see though. But at least like Kozilek's command is off right now. I guess endurance still gets me here, but well, we'll see. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you like at this point in the game, would you rather take it slow and give them at least like another turn? Because I think the only alternative for me is to then try and win with Jace instead. If I'm letting them untap and just keep open all this mana, and I think if that's the plan, then I think I just like taking my chances here. All right, we cast the Brainstorm, put back Force of Negation and Consider, and then the opponent does seem kind of F6y again. And I don't know, I've been saying that for so long. I don't know how many people actually play Magic Online, or just watch these videos and never play, but F6 used to be, and might still be, but I don't use it, the command to just yield until end of turn. So whenever someone says like, oh, my opponent F6'd, that means that that they are just like they have yielded priority. You can sort of tell by the like how quickly priority passes on the Magic Online client. Okay, sweet. There we go, 3-0. Let's keep it chugga-chugga-chugging. Okay, we are on the draw for round number 4. I'm gonna keep this hand. It absolutely like crumbles to Chalice of the Void, but yeah, other than that, it's pretty nice. I want to say each of my 3 opponents here, or the last 3 opponents, have mulliganed to 6 at least once. I can't remember the turn 1, the round 1 opponent, because that was yesterday, like I explained. But yeah, just wanting to also raise the flag for the fact that we are getting lucky in that regard. Okay, let's see. John Granvik. Okay, it's an Urza's Saga gamer. Oof, Mox Diamond. Please, no Sphere of Resistance. Please, please, please. Thoughtseize. Rude. Okay, what do you take? A lot of good takes here. What does this mean? What deck plays this? Is it like a Saga Storm deck, or is it like a lands deck, lands type deck with Thoughtseize? If they take my Thoughtseize, I'm gonna peg them as a combo deck probably, but I don't know. Okay, they take my Thoughtseize. It's very interesting. So we do have like a Hail Mary Doomsday right now. It'll leave us with no cards in hand and no permanents in play versus whatever my opponent is doing over there. And that would probably require me to pass the turn at least twice, no, 3 times. I would have to go like land. I guess I could go land and then brainstorm and then, no, that wouldn't do it. It would have to be land, Thassa, like fetch land, Thassa, and I don't think I'll survive that long against this saga. So I guess I'm gonna personal tutor off Underground Sea here and see where that takes us. If the opponent wastelands us, then it sucks, but we can at least cycle Edge of Autumn and hope to like that there's a land underneath Doomsday. And if they wasteland us, they probably don't start pooping out Saga tokens. Yeah, them Thoughtseizing my Thoughtseize makes me think like they could be a combo deck, like I said, but then again, they had 2 cards in hand at the time, like, and with the resources on the battlefield, it seems unlikely that they would be able to actually like go off. So like another discard spell here kind of makes sense. Verdant Catacombs, you know, green. Are they an endurance deck? 2 black mana. Smallpox. Okay, so I guess I will cycle this Edge of Autumn because the land is going to be gone anyway. I'll draw my Doomsday, then I'll discard Consider and really hope there's a land here on the top of my deck or a Lotus Petal. Okay, so they won't get any constructs out of this deal. Guess I'll play my LED and pass the turn. Hopefully, oh, yeah. Hopefully they didn't draw like a Bowmasters or something here. That would be kind of brutal. I guess if they drew a land, they can just get another Mox Diamond if they value that over the... I think this has become like quite a tricky matchup. Like usually the old type of Pox decks that didn't play main deck Orcish Bowmasters were not that bad. I think they were pretty favorable for most Dark Ritual combo decks, but I think at least Doomsday struggles a bit versus Orcish Bowmasters and a million discard spells. Okay, they do get Pithing Needle here. I don't have anything in my hand that's affected by that. Blue Delta is a good name here. Okay, and there's a Wasteland. Watch me draw Blue Delta. Oh, Scalding Tarn. So, I don't think there is any reason whatsoever to wait an Orchid Basic Island and try and get another land here. Yeah, they're going to Wasteland my Underground Sea, but I mean, it doesn't really matter because I'll get an island here, and then I guess I'll put a Cycler in there as well. We need Thassa. Yeah, I think getting Thassa is fine. Maybe get 2 Street Wraiths. What happens if they top deck an Orcish Bowmasters and I'm sitting on these cantrips and these Street Wraiths? That's probably not good. We want the Consider. How does that look? So we draw Basic Island, then we play Basic Island and cast Ponder. Ponder draws Consider. We'll be sacking LED at that point. Then we cast Consider for one of the 3 blue mana. We put Street Wraith away, and then we draw Edge of Autumn. Cycle that, yeah. So we put Street Wraith underneath Consider, and then Basic Island, yeah. If they can kill my Lines of Diamond on this next draw here, that would be kind of brutal. That would actually just flat out kill me, so let's really hope they can't. Like, they probably play like what's it called? Witherbloom Command, but they don't have the mana for that. Okay, they Wasteland me. Second Pithing Needle here would be annoying. Looks like it's not happening though. Alright, so let's play this Ponder and maintain priority and sack the LED. Yeah, we'll draw Consider and then Consider away the Street Wraith for maximum life points. Alright, and they concede. Alright, I feel pretty good about winning that game 1 there. That doesn't feel like a given. I don't think I have a lot here. I am actually just going to look up the North American Eternal Weekend list, which I'm guessing this is probably molded over, to see if they play Endurance. Alright, well, that deck played no Endurances, so I think Force of Negation, though, is probably okay. Maybe I'll get rid of a Thoughtseize on the draw and a Daze. I don't... I mean, they probably have stuff like Chains of Mephistopheles or some other, like, hosing thing for us. But I think I'm just going to try and not let that resolve rather than try and bounce it. Yeah. This seems fine. Let's try this. I will keep this. I'm not loving how, like, a turn 1 Thoughtseize taking my Ponder leaves me, but it's probably fine. Also, like, because this is Smallpox, our basic island is not safe. So I have to be mindful of that. I don't think I want to lose that to a Smallpox by playing it out turn 1. I don't know. Okay, again, they mulligan to 6. And here's a Hatchery and a Thoughtseize. Okay. This pretty easily takes Ponder, and then our hand is kind of sad. Underground Sea. Alright, well, I'm just going to dump a fetch land here and be ready to surveil. I also briefly considered like bringing in some creatures here, but I don't want to make Smallpox better than it has to be, and I don't think I'm going to be winning that game where we're sort of fighting on the battlefield. Like, all these hatcheries are pretty good at gumming up the ground, making like Barrowwolf not that good. Okay, they cycle a Baron Moor. Fair enough. And now I am going to fetch for the Undercity Sewers. So Street Wraith can go right in the graveyard. Lotus Petal, shit. Okay. Well, things just got sad. I guess I'll play out Lotus Petal. I don't think they do, but if they are playing like Cabal Ritual or Cabal Therapy, I don't want to like randomly lose to that. Oh yeah, that is how that play pattern works. Tappy tap tap. I guess like Shieldred would be kind of interesting. But again, Smallpox. Ghost Quarter. And Thoughtseize. go right ahead. Maybe I'm supposed to daze that, pick up the Sewers actually to get another Surveil. Okay, they take my Edge of Autumn. Fair enough. Alright, Nihil Spellbomb it is. Come on, big card here. Big draw. Brainstorm. Doomsday. Come on. Another Edge of Autumn. Alright, well, pass turn. And they are just blowing that up right now. Makes sense. And they exiled what? An Edge of Autumn and a Street Wraith? Okay. What is this? Third Thoughtseize? Oh, they were ghost quartering themselves. Fair enough. Yep. So now they have, what, 4 1/1s? I'm at 19. 4 mana available here. Hoping this is just loam and chains. I think I will actually daze that. Because I think my daze is just not doing anything here, and I like if I don't draw anything here, I'm happy to just replay the sewers, just get a little bit of value out of that. They brought back Hatchery, Ghost Quarter, and Barrenmoor. Okay, this is the turn deck. Come on. Come on, deck. Alright. Sewers, Force of Will, no thank you. Cycling the Barrenmoor. Are they going to dredge? Nope, they took a draw step. Mostly worried about the card Chains of Mephistopheles, and then after that, I'm mostly worried about Orcish Bowmasters. Come on, tap out. Tap out right into my Tibbity Days. Nope. Alright, Malevolent Rumble. That shows them Barrowgoyf, okay. And Saga. They choose the Mox Diamond. There's Ghost Quarter, and there's Mox Diamond, pitching Basic Swamp. So do I know any cards now in their hand? I don't think so, right? Well, I mean, if they have Bowmasters, let's see, I'll be at 15, 14 with the fetch, 7, then 6, and then I can draw a bunch of cards, so it's fine. Like, this turn, if I can find Doomsday, then it's great. Okay. They go for Barrowgoyf, right, okay. And that's a big old 6/7. Oh shit, I said the words. My son, who is 9, is like going 6/7, 6/7 all the time. Come on, deck. Damn. Okay, I think that probably is the game. I think I will float the land here, but I'll be at so low life that it probably isn't going to do much. Oh, never mind. Yeah, no, they have lethal. Or practically lethal, right? This is how many? It's 4, 8. So I'll be at 1. Yeah, no, I didn't see that line. Of course, that works. Nicely played by the opponent. Let's see. Counter souls. Ponder. Personal tutor. Okay, well, sometimes this happens. Do I want anything like, is days, the third days probably worth it here on the draw? Or on the play, rather? I do kind of want to be fast here. I think I'll board out a Force of Negation. They didn't show me that much that actually felt like worth losing 2 cards on it. That is not a creature, which is like, that's not Orcish Bowmasters. So maybe even having the 1 is wrong. I don't know. Okay. I'll keep this, and I will go for the turn 1 personal tutor. And then I will probably float the Lotus Petal. I don't know. Like, so if I Flusterstorm off of Lotus Petal, then that kind of sucks. That means I'm no longer... Yeah, I don't know. Also, Ghost Quarter here with Personal Tutor kind of just lets them strip mine me. Or wasteland me, I guess. I don't know. I still think I'm supposed to do it. I think I'll sit on the Lotus Petal as well. Or will I? Does it cost me anything? No, I'll play out the Lotus Petal. Yeah, alright. They mulligan to 6. Gonna get Underground Sea here because I need that to cast Doomsday next turn. Alright. Anything other than Ghost Quarter I'm okay with. I'm gonna force this Thoughtseize here. Alright, and then we cast Doomsday. And then I think it's about like leaving enough lands in the pile. Alright, Thassa's Oracle. Maybe we could also like use Lines of Diamond. I don't know. Let's get Basic Island. Maybe a Lotus Petal. Maybe a Consider. Okay, so even if they wasteland me twice, I can get to a point where I have Basic Island, Lotus Petal. So I think this is okay. Thassa, no, actually not Thassa on the bottom. Basic Island on the bottom, then Thassa, then Lotus Petal. No, I guess I'll put Lotus. I'll put yeah, I'll put Lotus Petal underneath the Consider and pass the turn. Urza's Saga. Okay. And they pass. So this could represent Orcish Bowmasters, and I'm just gonna pass here. If they flash in Bowmasters, then I'll consider in response. And they do. Okay. So I'll consider away the Lotus Petal and draw the Flooded Strand. And then I will plan to win next turn. They would have to remove 2 lands from me now, and well, hopefully they can't. I have Flusterstorm to fight over Smallpox, and their Saga doesn't like search until next turn, so Pithy Needle on Flooded Strand, which would be such a sniper move, isn't going to do it. I guess like Wasteland, and then like Wasteland my open mana, move through phases, then Mox Diamond into Smallpox would be a thing. Alright, I take 2, I go to 5. So if they have something like Disruptor Flute, then I'm cooked. Go to my draw step, and I think I do fetch out here. If they have some way to make me draw a card at instant speed, then I have the Flusterstorm. Alright, let's see. Ah, they have Endurance! Damn! Okay. Well, that is the game. Wow, okay. GG's opponent. I can't get back from this. Yeah, just did not think they were playing Endurance. Counted too much on the previous the top 8 list that didn't have Endurances. Interesting. What do they pitch? Malevolent Rumble. Okay. GG's. Opponent is also... Oh no, shit, I hit mulligan. Fuck. Well, sometimes that happens. My mouse finger slipped here. Okay, I'll keep this and bottom the Thassa's Oracle. This is okay. For 6 cards, this is fine. Badlands. In this economy? Cabal Therapy, okay. Let's see if they name... I would be shocked if they name any card in my hand. Force Will, okay. Okay, so here we go. I drew the card they named. Yeah, I'll pass here. I'm just gonna surveil, I think. So obviously combo vibes given out here, but not sure what kind of combo vibes I'm supposed to be in. Ooh, Wasteland? Holy moly. Probably I won't surveil then. The old Wasteland Cabal Therapy Badlands deck. Is this some kind of Rakdos, like, you know, Dragon Trace Chandler, Bowmasters kind of thing? I guess I'll let them just take a card here. They'll probably name Personal Tutor. Yep. That is probably the correct name. I do kind of feel like fetching Undercity Sewers. Like, I have a Daze. If they Wasteland here, it kind of makes my days better. No, let's wait here. I can fetch and work off of basics here, which is pretty okay. Maybe I was supposed to, yeah, I was supposed to cycle the Street Wraith there. I think sometimes I'm too conservative with my Street Wraiths. You know, like conserving a cycler for a potential same turn win. But when you're in this spot, like, what if the Street Wraith draws me like a Quarry Steel Cutter? Okay. I think this is worth a Force of Will. Yeah, but like, what if the Street Wraith draws me a Ponder? Or like a Brainstorm? That would have been pretty sick. Okay, let's pass. And I will cycle the Street Wraith. Guess Thoughtseize is not the worst, but there's a Ponder. Love that for me. Oof. Land, Petal. Let's shuffle these. Draw land anyways. Alright, I'm going to Thoughtseize here. And they don't know about the second day, so I might just play my Cavern and, you know, have them waste it. What am I most concerned about? DRC or Channeler? I guess Channeler. DRC or Channeler. I meant DRC or Nethergoyf. No, I'll float this Misty. Gets us closer to Doomsday. Like if my next land or my straw is a land and then is a Doomsday, then I would be upset that I played out the Cavern. The bauble showed them my Cavern of Souls. So this deck absolutely plays Orcish Bowmasters, I would guess. They have 2 unknowns in hand. Okay. I'll cast Consider. No, I mean, I do need the 3rd black mana, but I would rather be moving towards something like a Ponder here, yeah. Okay, but I am at 13 life from all this self-inflicted life loss. I am running out of time. Alright, they decide to cash in their Wasteland. I'm going to get Undercity Sewers here. Force of Will can go away. Yep, 2nd Wasteland. You did well, my little Undercity Sewers. Thoughtseize. Oh no. Okay. I think we've lost this game. We would need a brainstorm, and for the brainstorm to like really deliver, well, there's Doomsday. Still, like even if I draw Dark Ritual, I don't win. Another Wasteland, huh? So brainstorm into land, Dark Ritual, Cycler. Does that even do it? Well, that was one part of the thing we needed. Oh, that was close. That was really close. Okay. Close but no cigar, and the opponent has lethal, so yeah, GG's. This is not very like a very pleasant thing to be playing against. They probably have like Barrel Goyf and stuff. I do almost feel like boarding into my own creatures here, but I don't think I'm quite there yet. So I think I'm actually just, I might board in Shouldered here, but not the other ones. I don't feel like thought seizing them that much. I think life total is going to be important here. Yeah, I'm just going to board in 1 Shouldered and then probably just hope to win with Doomsday. All right. Let's see how we do. Yeah, keep. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go Underground Sea Personal Tutor, and then like hope that if their choice is between Wasteland and Cabal Therapy, that they go for the Wasteland. Because if I go basic Island, and then obviously they can't Wasteland me, and then also they might just go for, or feel like they'd have to name Cabal, like Cabal Therapy name Dark Ritual. There is the Wasteland. All right, sweet. Yeah, you want to bobble me? So I am going to get Underground Sea and cast Doomsday. Like a sick play for them would have been to Surgical Extract my Underground Sea with the fetch land activation on the stack, but I don't know that they have Surgical Extraction. So I am going to try and win with Cavern of Souls Thassa here, which does mean that if they end up with a Disruptor Flute line, then that beats me, but yeah, we can't beat everything. They can't Bowmasters this next turn, so I can go like, yeah, no, this seems fine. They might Thoughtseize my Brainstorm. I think I'm gonna leave the Street Wraiths as the top cards here. Yeah, and they get to see there's a Street Wraith. So we only have to cycle 1 Street Wraith if we are allowed to cast Brainstorm. And if they, okay, never mind, they concede. I guess they had nothing really. Okay, so do I try and beat them on the ground, so to speak, like with Barrogoyfs? So what kind of creatures can we expect them to have? Like 4 DRC, 4 Nethergoyf, 4 Core Steel Cutter. They don't have Murktide, so that's a plus. They might have their own Barrogoyfs, which would be a pretty big minus for me. It is a little bit of a risky thing. But let's see. We might leave in the Doomsday package as well. So what if I bring in these 9 cards? I already boarded out the second Thoughtseize. Board out 2 personal tutor, like a couple of cyclers, a couple of street wraith. I think Jace can go. And then the question is if we want Lionside Diamond, like if they ever are gonna tab out like that. Yeah, I think maybe I do board out the other 2 personal tutors. I just I can't have it all. And then I guess the second edge, so I'm down to 2 cyclers. That still lets me same turn win. I don't know how good Flusterstorm is, but it's probably actually fine. They're going to be a Lightning Bolt deck, a Pyroblast deck. We've seen discard. We're sitting on 22 blue cards. That's pretty healthy. Whoa. Whoa, mama. All right, I'm gonna keep this hand. And I mean, I guess I will force of will a discard spell. Yeah, Thoughtseize, pitch Flusterstorm, and then if I draw a land, I win on the same turn. I don't, but I still win. Is that right? Yeah, I still win because I just cycle into a land or another petal. Sick. And I think my opponent has no interaction here, so cycle Street Wraith, I guess draw petal because we're not beating a Mindbreak Trap anyways. Then we brainstorm, draw Consider, LED, and a cycler. Oh, hang on. This, we don't have more than 1 Street Wraith, so this Lotus Petal actually has to be a land. Yeah, devil's in the detail, folks. Alright, so cycle Street Wraith, draw Underground Sea, cast Brainstorm, put back Brazen Borer, Consider, play LED, cycle Street, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you know how it works. This or a variation of this is the pile I build the most on my channel, I would say. Alright, cycle the Street Wraith, play Underground Sea, do the business, do your dirty, sinful business, Underground Sea. Alright, this is the Doomsday deck being its meanest. Kapow! Yeah, 4-1. Oh man, if I hadn't run into that endurance out of the Smallpox deck. Oh boy. Alright, so I was very pleased with how this first league in the new format shaped up. Only faced 1 blue deck, that was the blue-red cutter deck, and that was probably the win I was most pleased with. I think the deck, performed well against all the non-blue shenanigans we ran into. I think I am going to do what I said in round 2 and board out this, or remove this Grafdigger's Cage from my sideboard, and then I am a little unsure of what to bring, and maybe I actually will bring in a Dismember, because I think Magus of the Moon, might be on the uptick. I'm not sure, but I heard some other people whose opinion I trust talk about how they think like Moonstompy might be making a bit of a comeback. I guess because Nadu isn't there anymore, and that was a really hard matchup for them. And like having another removal spell is never terrible. Like if blue control, any kind of blue control deck, blue white X, the blink deck, whatever, makes a comeback, then I think I want Emrakul and Shellog Isle, but for the time being this is probably fine. So yeah, let me know what you think. Where do you think this leaves Doomsday in Legacy? I think it's hard to see the disappearance of blue Entomb decks as a bad thing for Doomsday. I think those decks were hard as heck to play against. I think even like before the Dimir Reanimator took over everything, I think like running into Black Red Reanimator was always a hard matchup. It was at best it was like a coin toss. I think I had a pretty positive record, but it never felt very good, and you just couldn't beat their best hands no matter what you did. So Entomb being gone, probably fine. I think like Nadu was not a pleasant matchup, but I don't think it was actually that bad. I think Doomsday versus Nadu was somewhat even. At least that's how it felt to me. But I mean, I don't think I even have enough sort of data to actually say anything clever about that, and I haven't really been looking into it. But yeah, it remains to be seen. I think the the Karn Forge deck is a fine matchup for us. Not so much when it's the blue version, but if it's like just the normal non-blue version of the colorless version, it's a powerful deck and you can easily lose to it. But I think we're just as fast, if not faster, and we have Force of Will and they don't. So that feels pretty significant. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say. I am going to probably run this deck back a couple more leagues and then see where I end up. Uh, in the meantime, thanks so much for watching. Thanks to my new Patreons. Really, really love you guys. Thanks so much for the support. And yeah, I'll be back with some more Legacy. Bye bye.